Clairton High School. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to another championship weekend here on PCN. My name is Bob McCool. Alongside me, my broadcast partners for the weekend, Steve Bowen is to my right, and Gary Sutton is to my left as we get you set for the first game of a four-game weekend between a pair of unbeatens in the Class A matchup. Steel High, 15-0, the District 3 champions, taking on Clairton, also at 15-0, the Bears, the champions from District 7. And Gary, we ought to start talking about the Steamrollers, the defending state champions, right back where everybody assumed they would be. From 1 year ago today, they are right back here again.
Talented bunch. They've been there for a while, and of course, Rob Deibler's the guy where you start. He's the coach there, 89-30 in 10 years at Steel High, and what a juggernaut he has put together there. You see him down in the field, but he has put together a group of players here that know nothing but winning. In fact, they've won 24 straight since they lost 3 in a row last year, so they have been absolutely dynamite. They also are the defending state basketball champions as well, and they are looking to do something no District 3 team has ever done. Win 2 back-to-back state championships. And there you see Jeremiah Young, one of the main reasons why 8,946 yards. He is the highest rushing guy in the history of Pennsylvania, past James Mungro this year. 8.5 yards a carry, 114 touchdowns, including 31 this year. He is a force to be reckoned with. Today, running on a little bit of a bad wheel, so that's going to be a factor in the game.
And it'll be very interesting to see, Steve Bowen. Very rarely does a Steel High team line up and go toe-to-toe with a team that can match them athletically. But this Clairton team might very well be able to do that.
It's pretty much a mirror image, as you mentioned, Bob, and especially with the speed. Tom Nola, the head coach of the Bears, says that his kids have started from day one talking about defensive football, and boy, has it shown up. Only 75 points over the course, 57 points over the course of the season. But they have some game breakers of their own, most notably Kevin Witherspoon. He's a 5'9", 180-pound receiver, defensive back, kick returner. He scored 25 touchdowns this year, 20 receiving, 1 rushing, 2 on kick returns, and 2 on interception returns. Averages 26.5 yards per reception, coming close to 1,500 yards in a season. Any level of football on the high school level, that's pretty good. And Witherspoon is really the guy that makes him go. But the weather might be a factor in terms of the passing game because it is windy here at Hershey Park.
It is very windy, but it is also a relatively close-by Steel High team from where you got to get to the Steel High, the closest in terms of proximity to where we stand here in Hershey. Of course, Steel High just on the east of the Susquehanna River. Clairton, of course, from Allegheny County, just south of the city of Pittsburgh. That's where the two teams come from. But right now, they are down on the field here on Hershey Park Stadium, and we'll head down there as well for the coin toss as we get you set for the kickoff of the Class A state championship between Steel High and Clairton. Our officials for today's Class A game coming out of District 2. The referee is William Schoen. The umpire is Robert Mahalich. The line judge is Joe Pasardi. And the linesman is Dave Brzezinski. Field judge is Joe Arcuri. The side judge is Kevin Grassi. And the back judge is Charles Parry. The game captains making their way towards midfield and our coin toss and find out what could be very important in this game. Who has the football first?
Clairton has won the toss. They defer their option to the second half.
And so there you have it. Steel High will put their offense on the field first, and I guess it's not a big surprise that Clairton, a team, as Steve said, giving up on average 3.8 points per game, going to put their defense on the field to start.
Will receive.
Well, you definitely want to try to make a statement here earlier if you're Clairton, only giving up 3.8 points a game, and make sure you can face this Steel High offense. Also, this weather here, the wind is swirling all over the place, and right now, the wind is going to be a factor in this ball game. So if you're Clairton, you got to have a good chance the second half to make a decision.
When you look at the Bears defense, they run a 5-2, and it's more the 2 than the 5 that that they're concerned with. Troy Webb and Eddie Ball, the linebackers. Ball averages about 10 tackles a game.
And we will stand for the playing and singing of our national anthem.
He slowed down Young and allowed his mates to come in and make the tackle.
What a specimen that young man is. 6'5", 200-pound sophomore is Desimond Green, and the expected heir apparent at the quarterback spot next year.
And has been called a tackling machine out there in the West.
So Young gets about a yard. We'll call it third down and about 8 coming up for the Rollers at their own 45-yard line.
Eddie Ball made the last tackle. That's 156 on the season.
Dropping back into the shotgun now is Campbell. He's going to roll out and look to throw. Gets a great block from Bloxon to give him more time, but Campbell ultimately just throws it to the sideline. Did he hold on for the interception? Out of bounds, I believe. It'll be an incomplete pass, and fourth down coming up for Steel High.
And we saw the speed that time of the Clairton defense. First of all, with Ball coming in from his linebacker position, as you mentioned, Bob, a great block by the aptly named Bloxon.
Well, take a look here, and you'll see the block right back there, and just gave a chance for the pass out there, but you can see way overthrown. Wind is going to affect the ball anytime you're throwing it either direction today.
Nice effort by Weatherspoon that time, trying to make the pick.
And so the Rollers will punt the football. It'll be Jordan Smith who will punt it, and it'll be Weatherspoon back there to return. And a fake, and here comes the Rollers running with the football and going to pick it up. Jordan Smith will keep it and pick up a first down. First big momentum switch goes to Steel High.
Watch Jordan Smith here. We'll get a chance to see it again. He took a look. I thought he was going to soccer style it at first, and then he took another step, and he said, He took another step, and then he took off. Wait till you see this. Okay, here he is. Now he's taking a look. Okay, look. Okay, I'll take a step. Oh, still nobody there. Oh, nobody there. How about if I take it? Look at that. And good block up front there for him to get to the first down, and a big play here by Steel High with a little trickery.
And a good recognition of Clairton setting up for the return. They kind of dropped back to set up their blocking scheme.
It's 13 yards for Jordan Smith, and the game's first down comes on the fake punt and a run by Jordan Smith. And they'll go right back to Young with a hole on the right side. Young bounces it outside even further. First down and more inside the 30 and down to about the 26-yard line. First and 10 for Steel High.
Gary, we talk all the time about patient feet. Great feet that time by Jeremiah Young. You'll see that the feet really determine where he's going to go. He sees where to go, but it's the feet that give him that 16 yards.
16 yards on the pickup there, and a great block that time by Jordan Hill. Who else? Watch this right here. You see Jordan Hill start right there. Great block to Hill, and that opens up everything, and a good block back here as well. And then off you go. Doesn't need a lot, just a little bit. And he gets right on through. 16-yard pickup of the play. First down, Steel High.
At the 26-yard line. Now Campbell again goes into the shotgun. And he drops the football on the ground. I believe Campbell's got it back, but they will lose significant yardage back to about the 31-yard line.
If there's a wrap on Steel High, it's that Campbell gets a little flighty with the ball now and then. I mean, he's an outstanding athlete, good quarterback, but every now and then gets a little wild with the ball. And today when the weather's cold, you got the wind swirling around you, it becomes a little bit more accentuated.
He loses 5 yards back to the 31-yard line. So it'll be second down and 15 now for Steel High. There's a good look at Rob Deibler in his 10th season, 98-30, looking for win number 99 here in what would be back-to-back state finals. Steel High, the champions from District 3. They beat Camp Hill in that final here at Hershey Park Stadium. Their 4th straight District 3 Class A championship. Second down and 15. Again, Campbell is in the shotgun. And again, the ball comes loose. Campbell going to pick it up and look to try to buy himself some time as he rolls out. Going to keep it. No, he's going to throw it into the end zone. Into double coverage, and it's picked off. Clairton will come up with the interception on Weatherspoon.
I think he stepped over the line when he threw it. Now, you may have a chance to not take the penalty here if you're clear. Let's see what happens.
No, I think they marked him out of bounds.
Did they really?
I think they marked him out of bounds because it reads third down.
So we'll wait and see what the officials will tell us. As Andre Campbell, again, having trouble with the snap. It was not a bad snap. It just went right through his hands, and he picked it up and rolled out. Did he step out of bounds? Did he go over the line of scrimmage?
Apparently
Still high.
Looks
Looks like they're going to keep the football. We'll see if we can pick it up here on the sideline.
Well, take a look. You're going to see him right here. Here he comes. Here he comes. He's looking. He's looking. I thought he went over the line of scrimmage. Right there. Ooh. Maybe not, huh?
Break, Steel High, as they will call that now third down. Back at the 32-yard line, so he uses a yard. Third down and 16, we'll call it. They'll go back to the ground game with Jeremiah Young. He's in trouble in the backfield, trying to cut it outside, and the speed of Clairton too much. It's Weatherspoon who knocks him off his feet right around the line of scrimmage.
They tried to use the old stand-up play to try to show pass, and then the delayed handoff there on the draw play, and no one getting fooled by Clairton at all.
They also say that sometimes it takes more than one guy to bring down Jeremiah Young. That time, it was David Spence from his defensive tackle, got good penetration behind the line of scrimmage, forced him to the outside, and then it was Ball.
That's probably an answer that anybody around here can, try to answer, but he's really tough. It's going to take a maximum effort on our part.
Right, it's Tom Nola talking a little bit about what Steve said. It takes a lot to stop a Jeremiah Young, as most defenses around the state of Pennsylvania have discovered over his 4 years.
Delay of game on the offense.
So the Rollers thinking about going for it on fourth down. Now they're going to have to try it from even 5 yards further back. It's going to be fourth down and 21 now coming up for Steel High.
The wind is in their face too, which, that 5 yards may have helped them in their punt attempt.
And so Jordan Smith will drop back, assumingly, to punt the football. Of course, he ran the last time.
I don't think you'll see Clairton dropping back so quickly this time, though.
They have one return man instead of two, as they did before, and it's Weatherspoon who's back there. And Smith, again, taking his time, but this time he will punt the football. High short kick that will hit inside the 20, roll inside the 15, and finally Steel High will let it roll out of bounds at about the 14-yard line. 7:40 remaining first quarter of play in the Class A championship game. Steel High 0, Clairton has the football when we return on PCN.
Reaching, caring, inspiring, teaching. Every day, APSCUF faculty members of the 14 state system universities are making a difference in the lives of college students throughout Pennsylvania.
I believe that all students have this potential within, and they just need somebody to motivate them to move forward.
It's a matter of keeping the student engaged. Once they get there, the creative juices can just start flowing, and it's great.
Committed, dedicated faculty. APSCUF, helping to provide an education that works.
Are you worried about paying your mortgage and don't know what to do? The Pennsylvania Housing Finance Agency offers free mortgage counseling through a network of local organizations and has loan programs that may be able to help. Don't ignore the problem. Take action now to save your home. Call today.
Pennsylvania residents, contact PHFA today to find a housing counseling agency near you.
Cold and blustery afternoon here in central Pennsylvania. Game time temperature is 38, but you can see with the wind, it's a whole lot colder here in the stadium. Everybody bundled up warm as we watch Steel High and Clairton go head-to-head with one another. Clairton will get the football now for the first time from their own 14-yard line as Steel High picks up 2 first downs in their first drive, but cannot capitalize. And now Clairton will get their first opportunity with the football.
One of the interesting things about Clairton and watching them is the way they sustain their blocks, Steve. They hang on to a block as well as any team I've seen all year long.
The front line of Wright, Spence, Thompson, Daniels, and James, they worked out a lot during the summer on their own because they knew that they were going to have a chance to be something special in their league.
It'll be Troy Webb at the quarterback spot. He's going to hand off on the first down to Devontae Brown. Picks up maybe a yard on the play, and that's it as we look at that offense for Clairton. It'll be, again, Troy Webb at the quarterback spot. Deontay Howard is the tailback with Eddie Ball at the fullback spot. The wide receivers, Malcolm Ford and Kevin Weatherspoon, a dynamic player outside. But Lance Mead is the tight end, as Steve mentioned, the front five. Thompson at center, Dave Daniels and Spencer, the guards. Chance James and Taylor Wright are the tackles for Clairton. On second down and 10 now for the Bears from their own 14-yard line. There's Troy Webb, who was at the tight end spot up until the WPIL championship. They'll put Weatherspoon in motion, a jet sweep, and he'll hit the handoff and take it out to about the 20-yard line, as we'll look at now the very good defense for Steel High. Up front, Bloxon and Jordan Hill inside, a terrific tandem with Deshaun Beecher and Justin Williams outside. The backers are very quick. James Wilburn and Jordan Perry outside, Matt Johnson inside. The corners, Deontay Willis and Jermel Fleming. The strong safety is Jeff Davis. The free safety is Jordan Smith. Third down, and we'll call it 4 coming up now for Clairton. There is Troy Webb's numbers as the quarterback spot. Again, he started at the WPIAL championship game in replacement of Currington. He's been there ever since. Flanker screen, and they're going to throw it to Weatherspoon, looking for a block, trying to get somewhere. But the Steel High defense is there to wrap him up around the line of scrimmage, maybe across the 20, and that's it.
Well, you know Steel High is looking for his number here all afternoon, number 3, and a good job there covering it by Jordan Smith. Very quick in his own right. So good movement lateral that time. As you see Currington on the side there, number 5. He is not playing today, and look at those kind of numbers they've had to eliminate from their lineup. However, you got to say Troy Webb after the WPIAL game, and of course he played a little bit last year for Currington, really a pretty solid quarterback there. He knows what he's doing.
Absolutely, and Currington with the bad toe is certainly disappointed that he couldn't play. They tried all week to get him ready to go.
High snap, but no problem to get the punt off by Troy Webb. And back to return, Jordan Smith going to get pinned back on a great job by Malcolm Ford to get downfield and trap him down at about the 44-yard line.
34-yard punt, -3 on the return.
So the Rollers now back on the offensive side against Steel High with a punt fake that got them a first down in their first drive, but not able to capitalize. And again, here's our Steve Degler down on the field.
Well, Bob, you guys talking about the wind, certainly a factor. We saw in Steel High's first possession, Andre Campbell, who's got a very strong arm. Both of his throws getting caught up in the wind and getting knocked down. And watch the umpire, Robert Mahalage, between plays. He will stand over the football before the offensive team breaks the huddle so the thing doesn't roll away. It's so windy down here in the field.
And it is a circling wind, so it's kind of hard to gauge exactly which way it's going to blow on you. And here comes one way to prevent that by handing it off to Jeremiah Young. But again, the road is tough for Young as he gets it to the 45, and that's it, a pickup of 2.
You saw what makes Eddie Ball so special that time. From his linebacker position, he just shed a block and was the first one to meet Young right at the line of scrimmage, slowed him down, and the speed of this Clairton offense allows for when someone bumps him, you know, when someone bumps Ball, he at least gets a piece of the ball carry and everybody else carries on.
There you can see the official standing over the ball as Steve was talking about, making sure it's not moving anywhere.
Second down and 8 now coming up for the Rollers. After the 2-yard pickup for Jeremiah Young, 5 carries, unofficially 25 yards for Jeremiah Young. Again, playing on a bad ankle. Brace on that ankle. Rob Dibler said he's about 90%, and here he comes, kind of kicking outside, and Ball is there and wraps him up, dropping him in the backfield, back behind the original line of scrimmage.
Well, this is quick on quick along that line so far by both teams defensively, but Clairton showing you why they don't give up very many points during the season, as Ball just racing along that line to make the tackle. Take a look at this. Ball's just going to shed it right here. Here he comes. You can see Ball coming right across. There he is the whole way, coming across here, and now he just finishes off the tackle. Great job by Eddie Ball.
Tom Nola says that their base defense is 5-2. He said, but basically, we're going to let Eddie Ball decide who lines up where on the field. Ball is that kind of a leader on this defense.
And they lose 3 yards to Steel High on the play. It's 3rd down and 11. Again, Campbell out of the shotgun. Wants to throw the football. Looking across the middle of Williams. It's over his, Jeff Davis over his head and incomplete. And over the head of Jeff Davis is an accomplishment because he goes 6'7".
It's funny, Gary, we talk about the speed, and yet that might have been one of the slowest developing plays ever. It seemed like everything was in slow motion as the 2 receivers came out and crossed right at the hash mark, and it didn't look good from the start.
Rob Dibler's team not off to a big start so far offensively. And Jordan Smith again will drop back to punt. Weatherspoon awaits a return, a high short kick, and goes out of bounds. I'm not sure if that went off the side of his foot or was tipped. It looked like it just went off the side of Jordan Smith's foot and out of bounds on the Roller side of the 50.
7 yards on that punt. That went right off the side of the foot is right, and there you see a guy that's happy about the 7 yards, Mr. Nola over on that far side. 68-18 in his 7 years at Clairton. Take a look. It looks like he's set up pretty well. Now watch this. Just kind of kicks the back side of the ball right off the side of the foot. you know, nobody got a hand on it. It just was a missed punt.
C.J. Hammonds was there. I wasn't sure if he got a hand on it, but replay shows he did not. So it will be advantage now Clairton as they will start on the Steel High 49-yard line.
Don't be surprised to see them try and run it up the middle now, or at least go back to their power running game with Deontay Howard.
They have it in an eye, and here comes the reverse. Is it going to throw it? Give it to Weatherspoon, who wants to throw the football. Looking for Malcolm Ford, who's well covered downfield as it did not fool Steel High. Right there with him was Jamel Fleming to break it up.
They only set out one guy. I mean, if you were going to have to cover him, there it was. Jamel Fleming pretty quick in his own right. And there you see Kevin Weatherspoon, the big-time player for Clairton. Look at those numbers, 55 receptions, almost 1,500 yards, 26.2 yards a reception and 20 touchdowns this year. I mean, this guy has done it all, and they get him into a lot of different positions where he can be used effectively.
Yep.
Including quarterback as he threw that football but threw it incomplete, so it'll be 2nd down and 10 now. Weatherspoon will now come out split to the right, Ford slot right. Lance Mead is the tight end left side. In I formation, Webb wants to throw the football this time. He's in trouble and he's going to run with it. Webb going to tuck it away, get it wrapped up and drop down at about the 47, maybe to the 46-yard line. Great pursuit to the football by the Roller defense.
Yeah, James Wilburn, number 16, did an outstanding job that time running down the quarterback, Webb.
You're going to see a holdback, I think.
Football is marked at about the 46-yard line, but there is a penalty flag on the play.
Yeah, and it came out early, almost at the snap of the ball.
Officials getting together. Now we're going to get the word on what was called.
Call.
Illegal shift on the offense. 5 yards from the previous plot. Replay the down.
First penalty against Clairton will back them up now into their own territory. 3:35 remaining first period of play as both teams trying to get something generated on the offensive side.
When we talk about it, getting it to Deontay Howard, I mean, he's got over 1,600 yards, 21 touchdowns running the football. And that's their bread and butter. That's what they do. They try and mix it up as much as possible, but you know, Witherspoon's numbers come on not that many catches. They run the football.
2nd down, and we'll call it 14 now coming up for Clairton, back at their own 47-yard line. Webb under center, going to give it to Deontay Howard. He's going to cut it outside. Back into Steel High territory, bumped out of bounds inside the 45-yard line. Another penalty flag on the play. A lot of conversations going on right now after each and every play.
Well, there's one about how to stop Deontay Howard. 166 carries for the season, 1,642 yards, almost 10 yards a carry, 21 touchdowns.
Penalty flag on the play. Preliminary indication is it's hold against Clairton. So both teams right now kind of in a stalemate because of penalty flags on the field. There's Tom Nola, head coach for the Bears.
Saying to himself, that's not the way we drew that play up.
I think that's an Italian thing, isn't that?
Holding. Offense, 10 yards from the spot of the foul, 2nd down.
Back it comes another 10 yards for Clairton. So both teams now with 2 penalties in this first quarter.
This game getting worn out right now between the 40-yard lines.
We also saw on that play what Deontay Howard brings, a lot of speed from his tailback position.
So it'll remain 2nd down now for Clairton, but now 2nd down and 22 for the Bears, back at their own 39-yard line. They've got to get to the Roller 39 to pick up a first down. Webb now out of a shotgun. Deep drop, and he wants to throw it deep as well. Throwing it up high, looking for Malcolm Ford, and Ford going to make the catch inside the 20 to the 15-yard line. Juggling catch by Malcolm Ford, but 1st and 10 for Clairton.
What an outstanding catch by Malcolm Ford. There wasn't another inch he had to give there. Just really stretched out. You'll see it at the end of this play, I hope.
Well, here, when
just the effort that he gives.
What Malcolm Ford's going to do, and I don't know if we'll get a chance to see it. You can see him on the fly pattern now, but what he did is he gave a jute to the inside coming down, stopped for a moment, and then picked it up again, kind of like a give-and-go kind of thing.
First down of the football game for the Bears. It's a 47-yard hookup to the Roller 14-yard line. 2:35 now remaining first quarter of the game, and the Bears knocking on the door. Webb again out of the shotgun. This time he wants to run. Behind his fullback ball, comes inside the 10 to about the 9, and it'll make it 2nd down now for Clairton.
Ball with a nice lead block on the linebacker Perry for Steel High. Not a great crushing block, but enough to get Webb some space right there.
I'm just trying to get it to take a look. Yeah, there's that catch we saw. Look at that, just beautifully thrown. Holds on to it.
Wow.
And then keeps his arms under it to make sure it's an official catch. Great work by our Service Electric crew.
A problem in coverage for the Rollers that time, as you saw Jamel Fleming the closest to him, but Ford was wide open when Webb released that football. Now they go inside again. This time it's Deontay Howard who gets the call, and he'll barrel his way inside the 5 down to about the 3.
I think they might have got away with a little bit of an early start that time by Howard.
It's going to be 1st and goal to go now for Clairton at the 3-yard line after the 7-yard pickup for Deontay Howard.
Daniels, Thompson, and Spence up front there. The left guard, center, and right guard, respectively, are really opening some holes right now in that Steel High defense.
Back to the I formation as ball checks back in there now at the fullback spot. Howard behind him. And it's Howard following ball, just barreling his way in, lowering his shoulder. Got to the 1, but I don't know that he crossed the plane. Great job by a Steel High defender who stood him up, and it might have been Andre Campbell.
See if we can watch Carvin Thompson, the center, number 52. Very simply just throws his body down a cross block. You'll see right there. You can see him just going down. You can see number 79 going to the ground right there for Steel High right away. That being Lloyd Hill.
It was middle linebacker Matt Johnson who stood him up at the 2-yard line, inside the 2-yard line. We'll call it the 2, make it 2nd and goal from the 2.
There you see it, straight across.
In the initial surge, it looked like Howard was going to get his way in, but Matt Johnson, at 6'1", 195 pounds, just stood up Deontay Howard and said, not at least on this play, you're not. Now Webb will shift back into shotgun with ball beside him. Now Webb going to cut it outside, take it home for the touchdown.
And Eddie Ball made one heck of a block there from his fullbacker spot to open it up to the end zone. Number 9, Eddie Ball, is going to hit the block. That's going to loosen Webb for the first 6 of the game.
Interesting formation. They had 2 wide, way wide to the left side.
Right there. See Ball right there getting that big block in there, and then that opens up Webb coming around the right side and off tackle.
So Troy Webb with the touchdown run. That is his 5th of the season. And now they're going to throw for the 2-point conversion to Weatherspoon, and they complete it. So they go with the swinging gate formation, which they do on every kick. Steel High presuming they kick, but they don't. They throw it to Weatherspoon for the 2-point conversion. With 35 seconds remaining now in the first quarter of play in the Class A championship game, Troy Webb and company for the Clairton Bears on top of Steel High, 8-0.
And there you see Weatherington, already a factor in this game so far.
It was Deontay Howard, by the way, who threw that pass to Weatherspoon for the 2-point conversion. So Weatherspoon has thrown one, Howard has now thrown one, and so has Troy Webb. It's a team game here at Clairton. Bears are up 8-0. There's a good look at Weatherspoon, just a junior. Already gotten an offer from the University of Pittsburgh.
There you see it, 7 plays, 49 yards, 321. And let's see that one more time if we can on the rather interesting play. In a little bit, we'll go down to Steve Degler first up.
The big pass play in that drive, 47 yards to Malcolm Ford. Well, that's one of the reasons Clairton got here. Last week in the semifinals against Farrell, they were down by 3 points with 1:04 to play. They had 75 yards to cover. They did it in 3 plays. The big hookup was Webb to Lance Mead for 53 yards to the 6-yard line. Deontay Howard took it over from there. That 21 points allowed last week. The only time this year Clairton has allowed more than 7 in a game, and the offense hasn't gone here this afternoon.
And right now they are on top, 8-0. So a defense that's only given up 57 points on the season now takes over. Or do they? Jordan Smith cuts it outside, 50-40, and no one's going to catch him. Jordan Smith on the kick return for the touchdown.
91 yards. Jordan Smith provides the answer right here. Takes it at the 9, and he is history.
He made a cut at about the 28-yard line. Let's see if we get a chance to see it. It's a line drive kick. He muffs it a little bit.
And that sometimes will throw off the rhythm. Now watch this. Not much going on. Stop right there. And you'll see the move. He leaves him right here. Yep. Now everybody is in this direction. You're going to see one final, almost a block, not really, kind of a brush. And then Jordan Smith does it himself.
91 yards, Jordan Smith with the kickoff return for a touchdown. Now you see the reaction on the Clairton bench as they see their lead evaporate very, very quickly. And now let's see how the Rollers are going to respond. Will they go for the 2 right away, or will they kick it and make it a 1-point game?
I think you'll see him probably go for the 2 here.
It certainly looks like it. Andre Campbell and company is out there.
Now they call timeout.
Now they're going to call timeout, and they're not quite sure exactly what they want to do. Their place kicker is Justin Williams.
Steel High.
And the Rollers and Rob Deibler will take a timeout and talk about it. So the Steel High Rollers back here for a second straight year, looking to make it 2 in a row in Class A. State championship for the Rollers on the football side of things.
Have to remember last year the Rollers had lost 3 in a row, and all of a sudden they find themselves in the state championship game, and what a game it was.
Andre Campbell with a brilliant game last year. And in the second half, it certainly became the Jeremiah Young show as they eventually put away Sarah Catholic for the state championship.
And how about this run by Young? Just showing you a little bit of power. And then how about this? Break, break, see you later. One more time. Just leave people in their tracks.
Vintage Jeremiah Young with the cutback ability.
And then that offensive line opened up a huge hole that Jeremiah Young could have driven a truck through, and there was the gold trophy headed back to Steel High, a place that is so competitive. We had a couple gold trophies last year, one in basketball and one in football.
AAA championship in basketball, a football state championship as well. And now the Steel High Rollers apparently are going to go for 2, so the decision is out there. Campbell out of the shotgun. And you're going to fake the handoff, and Campbell's going to keep it, breaks a tackle, and dives into the end zone. Football comes loose, but they're going to give him the 2-point conversion.
Wow. Helicopter Campbell into the end zone. Holy cow. Everybody bought the Jeremiah Young fake except one man. And by the time they got to the end, look at this. Great fake. It comes to the end zone. He's spelled out there by number 58, Taylor Wright, but then just says, I'm getting in.
Yep. I think that would define the word laying out for the touchdown, or for the 2-point conversion.
Holy smoke. All out.
Who told you there were going to be some athletes in this game? And again, these two teams certainly have their fair share of them. Class A schools nonetheless. Steel High with only 43 players on the roster. Clairton with just 35 players on the roster. But not a whole lot of them can't do a lot of different things. And it's 8-8 now with 22 seconds remaining as Steel High with the answer is as quickly as you can get it on the kickoff return. 91 yards by Jordan Smith, answering 13 seconds after Clairton gets on the scoreboard first.
I think this possession is going to say a lot about how the Bears are going to play in this game. They had the big touchdown drive, and then they give it right back. This is one of those possessions that it's incumbent that they at least get a couple of first downs, that they don't go 3 and out, because all the momentum right now is with Steel High.
There it is. Look at this. Hit in midair. Now watch this. Just swung around. Now the ball is now across the plane. Does he still have the ball? Yes, he does.
Oh, yeah.
Then he comes through and it's in. That's about as, if you ever want to just have a picture of the word effort in the dictionary, right there it would be.
That's about as spectacular of a 2-yard run as you'll ever see as well. So now the Rollers will kick off.
Seems like kind of a shame you only get 2 points for that.
And now your concern is you got to kick off to, among other people, Kevin Weatherspoon and Deontay Howard back deep, and the Rollers are not going to do that. They're going to kick it short instead, and it's taken by Ian Johnson. And Johnson will take it across the 35-40, and good field position for Clairton again as they'll start from about their own 44-yard line.
We've seen a lot of trickeration so far from Clairton, and Tom Nola brought a very deep bag with him. I'm not sure that they don't get back to doing what they normally do, run it on 1st and 2nd down and see if they can gain some of that momentum back, see if they can push this Steel High defense a little bit.
Well, they did run Deontay Howard earlier. I thought that was the ticket. I think you're exactly right, Steve. I think you're going to see number 4 getting the ball a lot now.
They have just one back in the backfield, and it is Deontay Howard. As Weatherspoon will go in motion now, the 3 receivers on left side, they fake the throw to him, and Webb wants to keep it or doesn't. Now he's going to stop and wait the throw as he dances around back there. Now he finally throws it out of bounds, and all that will be an incomplete pass, but a flag comes down instead.
Yeah, intentional grounding there. I mean, he absolutely...
That was another flag. That might be roughing.
I think it's going to be roughing, Gary. Yeah, I think it's going to be roughing because he was certainly outside of the pocket.
Yep.
So he was allowed to throw it out of bounds as he did.
And a second flag came in late on the opposite side of the 50-yard line. So we're going to have 2 different calls on this play.
I think you've got intentional grounding here on 1. Maybe not. Maybe it was roughing.
I don't think.
I'm not sure on that, though. That's just a good tackle.
That doesn't look like roughing there. Well, let's get the wise in the black and white to get a call for it.
There are 2 fouls on the play. Ineligible man downfield on the offense. Intentional grounding on the offense. 5 yards from the spot and a loss of down.
All that for a 5-yard loss. That'll be the 3rd penalty of the football game against Clairton. And so they will mark the Bears backwards.
And it's a spot foul, too.
Yeah, you also lose it down.
Lose it
right?
down, so it'll be 2nd down now and long, back at the 31-yard line on what should be the final play of the first quarter. And you can't blame the lineman for breaking down field with Troy Webb dancing forward and dancing backwards, making up his mind whether or not he was going to run or throw. And eventually a lineman took off. So they'll mark it back now to the 31-yard line. And it'll be 2nd down and about 23 now for the Bears. High formation now behind Webb. And they'll go to Ball. Ball with a big hole to run through to the 35-40, 45 and 50 in the roller territory to the 45-yard line.
Hey, Coach, what do we got for 2nd and 23? How about the belly play?
And that'll be the final play of what's been an action-packed first quarter play. At the end of 1, it's Steel High 8, Clairton 8. We'll come back to Hershey Park Stadium for the 2nd quarter right after this on the Pennsylvania Cable Network.
This PIAA football championship on PCN is underwritten by the Association of Pennsylvania State College and University Faculties. Everyday APSCA faculty and coaches of the 14 state system universities are making the difference in the lives of students. Committed, dedicated, that's APSCA, Pennsylvania's own state system faculty. And by the Pennsylvania Department of Health. For help quitting smoking, call the Pennsylvania Free Quit line at 1-800-QUIT-NOW or visit determinedtoquit.com. The Pennsylvania State Corrections Officers Association is proud to be a sponsor of the 2008 PIAA Football Championships on PCN. We patrol the toughest blocks in the state. The Pennsylvania Housing Finance Agency is a strong supporter of the 2008 Football Championships on PCN. PHFA helps make the Commonwealth a great place to call home. The Hilton Garden Inn Hershey is the official hotel of PCN's championship coverage. When tomorrow is the big day, Hilton Garden Inn Hershey offers amenities and services so guests can sleep deep, eat well, treat themselves, stay fit, and work smart. PCN would like to thank Jeff and Jan Weinmiller for their generous gift that helps make this production possible. The dental practice of Dr. David Graham is pleased to be able to bring you today's football championships. Dr. David Graham, a premier dental practice with an emphasis on cosmetic and implant dentistry.
We got you set for the 2nd quarter. It's the Class A football championship. Steel High 8, Clairton 8. The Bears have the football after a 24-yard run by fullback Eddie Ball into Steel High territory at the 45-yard line.
There you see the first quarter numbers, 93 for Clairton offensive yards. Steel High with, not that, 23.
It'll be Webb on the quarterback keeper, bounces it to the outside, and he will pick up a couple yards inside the 45 down to about the 42-yard line.
Strong run that time by Webb, just a simple quarterback keep. Took it around the end, and he put his shoulder down into the roller defender. And
James Wilburn, the defender, who eventually makes the tackle, but I think he took the worst of the 2 hits. At the 42-yard line, it'll be a 3-yard pickup for Webb, 2nd down and 7. Again, Webb was playing tight end through most of this season before the switch to the quarterback spot after the injury to Carrington.
He is not your prototype tight end, though. He's more of a jet. You can see right here, very elusive.
2nd down and 7. Webb this time wants to throw the football. Stops, plants, throws deep, looking to throw it into coverage to Weatherspoon, tipped and eventually incomplete.
Most of Steelton was surrounding Weatherspoon that time. I mean, there was a triangle around him. Everybody in the world knew it was coming, and with the wind being what it is, there's a lot of air under that ball. But a good arm from Webb there as well. I mean, he put a lot of zip behind that as long as he had to throw it down the field.
Deontay Howard getting some last-minute instructions from Tom Nola before he rejoins the huddle.
Look at this. Here's here you go. 1, 2. That's right. Here's 1, 2. Well, referee 2 and 3 right there.
He was
and the referee. He was there too. I think he started to get in on the play.
He knew it was coming to him as well.
Who was that one ref we saw earlier in the year knock a guy out or block a guy?
3rd down and 7 now for the Bears at the Steel High 42-yard line. Opening minute of the 2nd quarter. Webb this time under center, play action faking again. He's rambling back there, penalty flags all over the place. Shakes loose of another tackle, eventually going to stiff arm his way away from one tackle and bumped out of bounds at about the 42-yard line. And the bump comes from Jordan Hill.
Well, it's nice to be elusive, but one of the problems you have with that is you're going to get a lot of hold calls because you're dancing all over the place and your guys are trying to help you. Take a look at this. I mean, Webb can get out of there, but you're going to see some holds back here. Not one right there, but watch Webb. Webb just trying to get away. There's about 3 hold calls across the field.
Flags thrown after the initial surge by Steel High. And there you're going to see the hit, bumping him out of bounds. Jeff Davis in on the tackle as well for Steel High. There's the hit by Davis.
Offense, 10 yards from the spot of the foul. Replay the down.
Penalty number 4 against Clairton Bears. Now a total of over 30 yards in penalties now for Clairton. And back onto the Bear side of the 50-yard line because it's a spot foul. 10 yards from the spot all the way back to the 37-yard line.
Be interesting what Nola calls here at 4th and a quarter mile. Third. Yeah. I meant third.
3rd and a quarter of a mile.
3rd and a quarter of a field anyhow. 3rd and 27 anyhow coming up for the Bears. Last time they just went to Eddie Ball, the fullback, and he picked up 24. Let's see what they do here. Webb wants to throw for it. Under a heavy rush, sidesteps one, stops, plants, and now he's going to take off and run with it, or is he? Webb eventually going to get wrapped up and swarmed under. This time it is Jordan Hill who swarms under him. And at the 35-yard line is where they'll wrap up Troy Webb.
Much like we saw when